Valmiki Ramayana, Aranya Kanda, Book number 3, Sarga 52, Roman numerals LII 52, Ravan's flight. Fair as the Lord of silvery rays, whom every star in heaven obeys, the mighty dame her plaint renewed, o'er him by Ravan's might subdued. Dreams, omens, auguries foreshown our coming lot of weal and woe. But thou, my Rama, couldst not see the grievous blow which falls on thee. The birds and deer, dearest the brakes, and show the path my captor takes. The birds and deer desert the brakes and show the path my captor takes. And thus and now this royal bird flew to mine aid by pity stirred. Slain for my sake in death he lies, the broad-winged rover of the skies. O Rama, haste, thine aid I crave. O Lakshman, why delay to save? Brave sons of old Ikshwaku, hear, and rescue in this hour of fear. Her flowery wreath was torn and rent, crushed was each sparkling ornament. She, with weak arms and trembling knees, clung like a creeper to the trees, and like some poor, deserted thing, with wild shrieks made the forest ring. But swift the giant reached her side, as loud on Rama's name she cried. But swift the giant reached her side, as loud on Rama's name she cried. Fierce as grim death, one hand he laid upon her tresses' lovely braid. That touch, thou impious king, shall be the ruin of thy race and thee. The universal world in awe that outrage on the lady saw. All nature shook convulsed with dread, and darkness o'er the land was spread. The Lord of Day grew dark and chill, and every breath of air was still. The eternal Father of the sky beheld the crime with heavenly eye, and spoke with solemn voice, the deed is done of old decreed. Sad were the saints within the grove, but triumph with their sorrow strove. They wept to see the mighty dame endure the outrage, scorn, and shame. They joyed because his life should pay the penalty incurred that day. Then Ravan raised her up and bare his captive through the fields of air, calling with accents loud and shrill on Rama and on Lakshman still, with sparkling gems on arm and breast, in silk of pally amber dressed. High in the air the mighty dame gleamed like the lightning's flashing flame. The giant, as the breezes blew upon her robes of amber hue, and round him twined that gay attire, showed like a mountain girt with fire. The lady, fairest of the fair, had wreathed a garland round her hair, its lotus petals bright and sweet rained down about the giant's feet. Her vesture, bright as burning gold, gave to the wind each glittering fold. Fair as a gilded cloud that gleams, touched by the day god's tempered beams. Yet struggling in the fiend's embrace, the lady with her sweet pure face, far from her lord, no longer wore the light of joy that shone before. Like some sad lily by the side of waters which the sun has dried. Like the pale moon uprising through an autumn cloud of darkest hue, so was her perfect face between the arms of giant Ravan seen. Fair with the charm of braided tress and forehead's finished loveliness. Fair with the ivory teeth that shed white luster through the lips fine red. Fair as the lotus when the bud is rising from the parent flood, with faultless lip and nose and eye, dear as the moon that floods the sky. With gentle light of perfect mold, she seemed a thing of burnished gold. Though on her cheek the traces lay of tears her hand had brushed away, but as the moonbeams swiftly fade, ere the great day god shines displayed, so in that form of perfect grace, still trembling in the fiend's embrace, from her beloved Rama reft, no light of pride or joy was left. The lady with her golden hue o'er the sword fiend a lustre threw, as when embroidered girth and fold an elephant with gleams of gold. Fair as the lily's bending stem, her arms adorned with many a gem. A lustre to the fiends she lent, gleaming from every ornament. As when the cloud shot flashes light, the shadows of a mountain height, whene'er the breezes earthward bore the tinkling of the zone she wore. He seemed a cloud of darkness hue, sending forth murmurs as it flew. As on her way the dame was sped, from her sweet neck her flowers, fair flowers, were shed. The swift wind caught the flowery rain, and poured it o'er the fiend again. The wind stirred blossoms sweet to smell, on the dark brows of Ravan fell, like lunar constellations set on Meru for a coronet. From her small foot an anklet fair, with jewels slipped, and through the air, like a bright circlet of the flame of thunder to the valley came. The mighty lady fair to see, as the young leaflet of a tree, clad in the tender hues of spring, flashed glory on the giant king. As when a gold embroidered zone round an elephant is thrown, while bearing far the lady through the realms of sky the giant flew. She like a gleaming meteor cast a glory round her as she passed. Then from each limb in swift descent, dropped many a sparkling ornament. On earth they rested dim and pale, like fallen stars when virtues fail. Around her neck a garland lay, bright as the star god's silvery ray. It fell and flashed like Ganga sent from heaven above the firmament. The birds of every wing had flocked to stately trees by breezes rocked. These bowed their wind-swept heads and said, "My lady sweet, be comforted with faded blooms each brook within, whose waters moved no gleamy fin, stole sadly through the forest dell, mourning the dame it loved so well. From every woodland region near came lions, tigers, birds, and deer, and followed each with furious look the way her flying shadow took. For Sita's loss each lofty hill, whose tears were waterfall and rill, lifting on high each arm like steep, seemed in the general woe to weep. When the great sun, the lord of day, saw Ravan tear the dame away, his glorious light began to fail, and all his disk grew cold and pale. If Ravan from the forest hies, with Rama's Sita as his prize, justice and truth have vanished hence, honor and right and innocence. Though thus rose the cry of wild despair from spirits as they gathered there, in trembling troops in open lawns, wept, wild with woe, the startled fawns. And a strange terror changed the eyes they lifted to the distant skies. On sylvan gods who loved the dell, a sudden fear and trembling fell, as in the deepest woe they viewed the lady by the fiend subdued. Still, in loud shrieks was heard afar that voice whose sweetness naught could mar, while eager looks of fear and woe she bent upon the earth below. The lady of each winning while, with pearly teeth and lovely smile, seized by the lord of Lanka's isle, looked down for friends in vain. She saw no friend to aid her, none, not Rama, nor the younger son of Dasharatha, and undone, she swooned with fear and pain. Absolutely beautiful. Footnotes 291:1. The spirits of the good dwell in heaven until their store of accumulated merit is exhausted. Then they redescend to earth in the form of falling stars. 291:2. See The Descent of Ganga, Book 1, Canto 44, Roman numeral XLIV 44. Absolutely, absolutely beautiful. The description of Sita Devi, her beauty, amazing. The way she cried for help and all the forest animals came. They tried to help, but they could not. Jatayu, the rover of the skies, the eagle, the Roman eagle, Rama's eagle, who gave everything to save Sita, who gave up his life to save Sita. Absolutely beautiful description. She is throwing different ornaments as she is carried away, so perhaps Rama and Lakshman can find her, can find the path. She was carried away by the Rakshasa. Absolutely beautiful description. Wow, credit where credit is due, Mr. Sir Ralph Griffith. How did they translate this from Sanskrit to this kind of poetic British? Absolutely, absolutely beautiful. The cathedral of words, of architecture, literally, literal architecture. Yeah, and because of this offense, Rama is gonna come with his, as the drama develops, Rama is gonna come with his army of monkeys, the planet of the apes. Now, this is all historical. This is all happened because Rama's pastimes are eternal. These are these are eternal pastimes that are happening in every universe at particular scheduled uh, incarnations, comings. And the whole purpose is to attract conditioned souls back to Krishna and Rama, because everybody likes to hear a beautiful story of a prince and princess. That's natural. That's ecology. Everybody likes to hear this kind of, and this is true. This is historical. Rama came, crossed the ocean with his army of monkeys, simians, and killed every single giant, every single man, woman, and child, and an animal in the city of giants. Everybody was slaughtered. It was the most brutal war ever happened on this in this universe between the demons, Rakshasas, and the demigods, the monkeys. Demigods have assumed the forms of monkeys to assist Rama in completely destroying. That's why we have Old Testament, all these descriptions of the most brutal engagements of Semites, Moses Semites with the giants, where everybody was slaughtered, everybody was completely destroyed. Again, the story of Moses and his Semites is the story of Rama and the Simeons. The whole thing is plagiarized, stolen. The whole Bible is stolen and no credit given. The stupid thing says the earth is old 6,000 years. This is how stupid these people are. They literally believe it because of this stupid book that the planet Earth is 6,000 years old and it's flat. The earth is flat. This is how stupid those Abrahamic religions are. They don't even believe in soul. They believe in some resurrection of fucking zombies from the graves. They don't even believe in soul. They can't even explain what soul is. They can't even explain. You ask them about, what this stupid book tells what soul is. They can't even tell you that. This is how those books, Abrahamic books, are so stupid. And the only way those books can have any relevance is if they destroy all other books, all other civilizations, all other temples, all other cultures. And this is exactly what Abrahamic religions do. Completely destroyed everything pagan and made a pagan a bad word. Because the purpose, because these religions, Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, were actually created by the secret occult societies who had all knowledge of the ancients, of Ramayana, of Mahabharata, and everything. And it's a satanic um, underground occult secret societies who worship Ravana, the Rakshasa. That's what it is. That's why we need to remember Ramayana and Krishna, Krishnayana, Mahabharata, Jai Shri Ram, Hail Ram, Roma Victa, Victory to Rama. Ciao.